I've been waiting. I've been waiting to talk to this gentleman on the phone. As a matter of fact, his new film is getting rave reviews. As a matter of fact, it's been the talk of my show for the last 2 weeks now. As a matter of fact, and so many other ventures going on. Without any further ado, I like to roll out the red carpet and do my drum roll for for actor and writer David Banks. How you doing, Dave?
Doing great. Now to the drum roll like that, I'm doing even better.
Hey, you deserve it, my man. You deserve it.
Hey, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Definitely.
No doubt. So first of all, I guess, for all the listeners out there, everybody's listening in worldwide. I want to let anyone and everyone listening know, if you like to call in, say what's up to David, give him a shout out, congratulate him on what he's doing. Also, the area code and number to dial is 252-526-1318. Again, that's area code 252-526-1318. Dave.
Yes.
So, first off, I guess I'll start out with the basics for everybody. Just a kind of a brief description of how you got into the entertainment industry in the first place.
Gosh, good question. I don't want to say I was lured away from it, but I was highly recommended not to be a part of it by my parents. My dad was in advertising. He never did it for years, and I saw the fun that he had on that side of it, and the enjoyment that he had. It was just, obviously, whenever you can do something that makes you happy, it's great. But he did kind of warn me growing up, because you know what? I wouldn't recommend it, but if you decide to do it, I encourage it. I said, okay, great. Well, you know what? I'm going to do it. I think, again, whenever your parents say you shouldn't do something, it's just our first reaction is to definitely go ahead and just dive in anyway and do it. As you said, I shouldn't. Now I'm going to do it. So I think that was my first initial. And then, I saw what he was talking about, the fierce competition, all the no's, all the, even worse, the yeses that turn into no's, and then nothing happens, and I'm like, wow, gosh, she wasn't kidding. This is insane. But, but you have that marathon mentality versus sprint. You go in it for the long haul, you give it a shot. I heard a friend of mine say something last week. But every once in a while, my mom still will say, aren't you ever curious? Don't you ever want to try something else? And, my friend jumped in, he goes, well, why don't we just try breathing water? See if that works. That's not even in the equation anymore. That's not even something that gets brought up. We just do it, we love it, and it's kind of a full-time obsession at this point, where you enjoyed it, you love it, and it's just, I don't know, it kind of takes over. And it's just a lot of fun now after all these years. It's kind of to the point now where I'm like, this is what I'm doing.
Right.
Everything else is out.
And you know what? And that's the thing too. This particular industry or field that you in, even myself, a lot of people listen. First of all, our parents always say that to us. That's one of the main industries that they go, oh, get a real job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And it kind of shoot it down. But I bet they're looking at you now and can kind of understand, how you stay focused and your progress has been amazing. I mean, we're talking about 100 or more. First of all, we'll start with 100 or more commercials. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Thank you.
And I got to commend you too, man, because listen, sometimes we watch commercials. And for everybody out there listening, this guy is in some of your favorite commercials. And
thank you.
And some of your favorite personalities. Look, David, where does that charisma come from? And we'll talk about the roles that you're playing in a minute, but just that fun personality and the ability to be able to make those expressions and make us laugh, man. There's got to be some naturalness to that for you.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you. I think I'm going to blame my mom and dad for that. Growing up in that funky offbeat household that we had, which was nothing but, it was amazing. Looking back at the memories, and I think that was so crucial growing up and having that kind of bouncing back and forth, spastic, fast-talking behavior that was going on in the house. And, one minute my mom was like, hey, let's get you piano lessons today. I'm like, I'm not thinking piano. Let's do drums. Let's do something really obnoxious.
Right.
So I just able to pretty much let me do whatever I wanted. Well, not whatever I wanted, but as far as there's restrictions, of course. But as far as, hey, you want to do drums? Great. You want to play baseball? Great. Very supportive on my team. Very just encouraging. I guess, like I said before, my dad obviously telling me, listen, this is what you want. That's great, but I'm going to warn you. You should, not like, but again, he's very encouraging and very supportive. It just was huge growing up, and I mean,
Right.
I don't know. It's just, I think that was a big part of it. My mom and I are best friends. My dad since his passed, unfortunately, but my mom is a huge part of my life. We talk every day. And I just, I love it. I thank God for it every day.
Right.
I think my mission now is to make her proud. That's pretty much my main goal. I may sound cheesy, but
Hey, nah, hey, look, look, in our lives, that's our number one goal in most cases, is to make our moms happy. It gets no better.
It's funny. I used to laugh at these guys that said, they have mom tattoos. I met my mom. I'm like, what the heck's wrong with you? Of course, I was saying that when I was 14. I'm like, no, my mom is cool. And when you get a little older, you realize, wow, my mom was really cool. She's awesome. Okay.
And
the kids, you don't see that. It's just not. Hey, now drop me off around the corner. I can't be seen. You drop me off at school here. You drop me off a block away, and I'll walk out of the car. Okay.
I know you're like, Mom, why'd you show up? You know what I'm saying? When you was young.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Yeah, but now it's opposite.
Good. And speaking about the drums, as a matter of fact, man, I seen you kicking it on the drums too. You got the band jump. Look, are you still in the band?
Yeah, it's going great. It's another way to I call it venting with sticks. Just another outlet to recharge the soul. You're having a bad day or whatever. You get behind a kid like that, and there's nothing better than sweating out all your issues or problems or frustrations.
Right. You guys, I had looked and saw you guys playing it. Look, and you guys were cranking back there.
Oh, thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
How long?
Great group of guys. They're really nice guys, all level-headed, all grounded, which is kind of, I guess, pretty rare for bands these days.
Do you guys still, I know you're so busy with the film industry and stuff, but do you guys still get to hook up and jam sometimes?
Yeah, we're trying to find time with our schedules as far as, listen, how's this Thursday look? Well, I can't do Thursday. How about Friday? Okay, Friday at 7? Now let's do 9. Okay, cool. We got each other on group text, and it's just, okay, well, how's this look? Okay, and, things get put off or pushed aside, but ultimately we try to get together at least every week or two and throw down the jams and just practice for a show and kind of, again, just really have that fun. And,
right.
Without getting the neighbors too angry, because a lot of the times we practice here at my house, and the neighbors are pretty cool. But every once in a while, you get that, the one person that walks by and gives you a mean little look because it was a little too late, too loud.
Right, they're like, you guys are playing. It's 12 at night, and I know.
Yeah, exactly. The cutoff should be 10, so I'm like, okay, fine.
Right. Now, okay, we'll go. Let's talk about Cut for a minute, because look, this is a film that people have been talking about. For the last while, I've been noticing Cut everywhere I look at. Cut. It's just what I'm hearing, and
nice.
I know, right? That's beautiful, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna lie, yeah.
Now, just okay. I'll start with, first of all, where did the inspiration come from, and then we'll go into like the trailer and just the stuff that I see going on. But where did the inspiration for Cut the film come from?
You know what? David Roundtree, the director, and
I. Great guy.
Great guy, super guy, just a genius. One of those guys that anybody out there gets a chance to work with him, it's a huge blessing. He's so giving, and he's got his idea of the character, but he also gives you the freedom to kind of move with it and have fun with it, and make it your own, so to speak. And then without saying, "Oh, don't do that," he just kind of lets you go with it. And obviously, if you go too far, he brings you back and says, "You know what? That's great and all, but maybe a little less, a little bit more on this side." But again, just super guy, and we had an idea to. We were working on a comedy before that, and had some interest from the studios and stuff. Okay, well, why don't we wait for this to get out there? Why don't we write something completely opposite, throw us out of our shell, out of our normal shell here, and just do something that's completely out. Mm-hmm. But we're both big, huge horror fans, huge 80s fans, so that genre, that market really has always just piqued an interest with us. So I figured, well, you know what? Why don't we write something like that and just see how it goes? And the more we did, the more we got wrapped up in it. The more exciting it became, and other people would jump on board, and then they bring someone else. I'm like, wow, yeah, this is becoming a lot bigger than I imagined, and it's just been really exciting. It's been great just to see the whole thing really take off and get out there. It's a rush. And
for people out there listening, when you watch this trailer, you can tell. you know, that there's going to be some scary. There's that dark, grim look to it. And every time I looked around, somebody's got a weapon. Like, like I'm assuming some people are getting really injured in this film, Dave.
It may appear that way.
Yeah, it appears that way. And so
that's kind of what we were going for too. We really wanted to add that shock value, which is really, I mean, add a little bit of. It's definitely dark. It's a little twisted, but that's kind of. I think once we started going that route, we're like, you know what? Let's just get even darker. Let's get even more to it. You know, when my own mom started to watch it, that was a good thing.
Right.
Like, okay, this is something nice here, and I figured, well, it took that turn. Like I said, it wasn't anything we really planned out. We had a few ideas on how we wanted to look. I always said we wanted it to be like a processing Saw meets Seven. So you got that thriller vibe, but you also got little touches of horror, a little, some scary. And then people would just, add themselves. Like we find someone that, like I said, brought a friend, and we got, to me, David and I we're still blown away by them. Still blown away.
Hey, look, of course, there was, there's two different things that I saw. Like, okay, there's a trailer where the scary stuff is happening. And then there's a part that I seen, and I can't remember whether it was, kind of just a snippet that you guys had laid out. But there is one particular part where some people walk in, two ladies walk in. Shouts out to them too, Suze Bramlett also as well. But there's a scene where they walk in and you guys are behind the counter, and David, you're cutting up. You're really cutting up. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned Suze. She's one of my, I just got off the phone with her.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of hers for years, and she is one of the sweetest ladies you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
She's very real. What you see is what you get with her, and she's just a wonderful person. And to be able to work with someone like that gives her all, it made the day. I mean, it's funny. I look at David between takes, and I think at this point we've been there for like 7-8 hours, but it felt like just a fresh 30 minutes. Just like, how did this much time have passed? Right. But, when you're having fun, you get to roll around some lines or something like that. I'm like, wow, we're just sitting together, spit back and forth dialogue that just kept going, and it was so fun and fresh every time. And, oh, man, I can't say enough about her. She really is a wonderful person. She's such a great actress, and that was a real honor to work with her.
Yeah. She was on the show the other day. As a matter of fact, same way I was honored to even to have her on and be talking to her, just from her career and so much that she's done. But you like I said, I kept watching that part, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm like, this guy is wild. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
With that. Now, a little bit about your character in the film, which is you play Lane Hayes, if I can, if I'm allowed to say that. Tell us a little bit.
Of course.
Tell us a little bit about your character in the film.
I wanted to be as obnoxious as I possibly could, and it's funny because I always tell you, don't really use of yourself unless you want to put yourself in a bad mood. I'm like, oh yeah, I've been warned, I've heard that before, and I was thinking, taking that approach and really wanting to be obnoxious and just be this character that you just want to have killed off in the first 5 minutes because he's such a jerk.
Right.
I just went for that. I figured, okay, and then again now after reading some of the reviews, people were pretty upset. I'm like, this guy, I can't stand this guy. And I'm like, okay, cool. At first I took it personal. I'm like, what? They don't like me? And then second, I'm like, well, wait a minute. I guess that's kind of what I was going for. I should be happy. Okay, good. No, that's good. Let's keep reading. Right. And it's funny because I didn't really. I don't know. I think we always have to play something that's something out of the norm, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I am a very obnoxious, unlikable guy, but I think playing a character like that was a lot of fun. It was stretched. It was a lot of fun. I think, okay, let's make them, as vulgar. It's just annoying as I possibly can.
Hey, you know what? But it brought, people have to love it because it brought the flavor. It brought a lot of flavor. And I have to say, if you're the guy that people want to get, listen, in some films, I've seen people that you kind of want to get killed off, like you say, because you're like, okay, well, this guy's just a butthead. But,
yeah.
Right. But your character just had so much enthusiasm behind him that you need him throughout the film. You see what I'm saying? Like
Oh, nice. Thank you.
yeah, because it kept it live, and it kept that also that element that was necessary. So you were definitely necessary. I'm not gonna ask how far you made it through the film because I want everybody to make sure they go check it out. But everybody out there, you've got to see David in this. I'm telling you, you're gonna be like, this guy is wild. But
Thank you.
but talk with that leading into just some of the commercials that you've done also, David. Like, you have this character that brings out it brings out the livelihoodness. When you came into the industry, is that kind of what you were focused on, or is that what you fell into? Is being this guy that could make the faces or could bring so much expression?
Yeah, it's funny because I always I admired people like obviously the Jim Carrey, the rubbery faced kind of things that were going on, and growing up with that. And, I mean, Chevy Chase, watching Chevy Chase movies, Vacation and Fletch, stuff. It just really was that. I don't know, one of those things that just sticks in your head as a kid, and I really admired those kind of quirky, over the top, spastic type characters. I think the hardest thing for most any actor, they always say, finding your niche is the toughest thing. Because I think a lot of times people end up, wanting to be something else. So I figured, well, if I can maybe bring a touch of myself in there and put a little bit of over the top thing going on and see how that goes. But yeah, I guess that's kind of that. Just growing up with that kind of that humor and that kind of comedy stuff around all the time was really
right.
It's weird that these commercials kind of go in shifts where you'll notice. Usually it's a trend thing going on. I think like 5 years ago it was the very over the top quirky guys, and then for a few years it was what they called deadpan. So a lot of it was really dry, like, hey, what's up, Bob? Hey, Rhonda, how you doing? Good. And now for some reason this year the big thing is beards. I sat down during the Super Bowl and I watched. I think about 75% of the spots had guys with beards, and it's this funny little trend that goes. And you watch, you see what's big. Oh, yeah, I get it. This is big right now. Okay.
You bring that. I mean, honestly, I'd say I know people are doing a lot of things, but just your style of the way you do it, I really consider to be a trendsetter. Because even in the commercial, even in the Christmas commercial, when you're doing the Christmas Carol, you know what I mean?
Oh, thank you.
The TBS and then the MasterCard and all of those, those different things. You see people doing that, and it like you say, it becomes a trend. But I feel as though people like yourself really raise the bar. You push the limit to how it's done and how funny it's done. At the same time, you stand out. In other words, and
thank you. Thanks a lot.
That's an absolute big deal. So listen, keep doing what you're doing. We enjoy the entertainment. Look, the commercials. I'm not a heavy commercial dude. A lot of times I'm waiting for the commercials to go off. But when I,
a lot of us do that. We fast forward. Okay.
Right. But when
cable thing 30 times, it's fast forward.
Exactly. But when I look and I see those commercials that you're in, those are the ones that people are laughing at. During the time. Like, if we've got to watch them, we want to see those. And so we thank you for doing that too, man. You're just killing it all the way around the board, David.
Oh, thank you so much. Man, just hearing that again just motivates me to bring even more of my A game. I love it. That means a lot, Keith. Thanks so much. Seriously.
Hey, keep doing your thing. Listen, everybody out there all across the land, you listen to the Keith Harris Show. It's been David Banks. Make sure you go show him your support. We'll be right back in just a few minutes.